Today is October 15th, 2025. It is 8:49 in the nighttime, evening, however you see hours. Some people see it as night, some people see it as evening. Um, Depending if you're a night owl, I guess. I'm making this video because I want to vent a little bit, but I want to vent in a productive way, in a helpful way this time, because usually I vent in my videos just ranting on, kind of like how I'm doing now a bit, but just more, emotional. And I don't want to make this one like that. I want to make it to where I'm actually discussing the technical and mental things going on behind the scenes of what I'm going to talk about. And what I'm going to talk about is essentially it's disappointment, how to deal with it, how to handle it, because I think it's a big part. I was watching this video from this guy that he has a YouTube channel called Nature Jab, and he's
incoming
super
call.
young.
Press
oh my
the pickup
gosh!
button to answer. Incoming call.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Press the
answer
pickup
this
button to
while I'm
answer.
recording because I don't want to have
call.
to stop
Press-
and then edit this video. Diana, can I call you back right now? I'm busy.
They'll bring the soap when you come back.
Oh, I wasn't going in there, but okay, I'll take it. Okay. Okay, bye. My mother-in-law. She's calling me to tell me to bring the soap from my house where I live there, where I'm not right now, because the father of my child is there, relapsed again, on fentanyl, I believe. And I don't like to have my daughter or myself around him when he's like that. So I'll let him stay there, and I'll go sleep with my baby over here in her room in her house at her grandma's, because she wants to be with me, and I don't want her there. But I'm also not gonna make him leave, because then he'll have nowhere to go, and God knows what he'll do out there. And it's not my intention to purposefully hurt somebody who needs help, essentially. And that's what he needs. He needs help. He's in denial about it. He doesn't want to admit it, that he needs help, because in his mind it's like, when stuff happens in the past and you're in the present and future, you shouldn't think about it. And as I told him, I agree with that, only if it's not compartmentalized in your head, a trauma compartmentalized in your head, a past trauma that stays embedded with you to the degree that it's embedded in your personality, where you start acting a certain way, saying certain things, just the way you behave, trapped in your own mentality about things, because you have guards up that you put on when you get all this trauma, and you deal with it in that way, in that guarded way, and in your mind you're not doing anything wrong, and you're just protecting yourself. And even if it means that you go on the offensive and start attacking someone, in your mind you feel like you're defending yourself, so that's how it's processed. But if you're sick and you're not aware of how much trauma you have and how much help you need, it's gonna blurry things and make it so that you don't know what's going on exactly, and you're in defense mode constantly. And that's what it is. It's not that you're actually defending yourself. You're just in defense mode, and you're defending yourself when there's no need to, because nobody's attacking you, but so that's one of the things that I'm disappointed about right now, is because, you know, he's gone, for a while being good, and then, you know, it goes back to that, and I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, I'm at the point where I'm messaging the drug dealer and telling him, you know, to block him and not talk to him, because I'm gonna get him arrested if anything happens to him. Like, I did that. I did that before, you know, with other guys, and it made me, used to make me just angry, you know, doing it, engaging. But like, now I'm doing it from a different point of view. I'm doing it from a more calm, you know, it's not like, you know, fuck you, you piece of shit, or just vulgarities, you know. It's straightforward, blunt, and honest. And yeah, so I feel like that's the only thing I can do at this point, because I mean, you can't call the cops, you know, because they don't really do anything. The last time I called them, they shot our dog, you know, because they got scared because she barked at her. And they arrested him, you know, when he didn't. I asked for a mental health specialist, you know, for him to be taken in and seen, and like, no, they didn't do that. They just went a whole different route. And so I don't feel comfortable calling the cops anymore. Like, I'm gonna get my baby's daughter killed by calling the cops, is how I feel at this point. So, and it's like, you can't, you know, forcefully commit somebody to an, you know, rehab or mental institution or whatever, unless you actually, you know, petition the court to do it, and that's a process. And I could do that, but I would need, you know, a lot of evidence, and that's like where it's harder, you know, because a court needs actual evidence, not like just word of mouth that, you know, it's happened many times, especially if the person is not in that moment, you know, sick or looking like they need help. Because, you know, when that's the thing that gets me upset too, is like, when he knows like he has to get sober because he's gonna be tested, or, you know, he's got the law on him or whatever, sniffing around, like, he'll do it, you know, if he needs to stop. It's just when he feels all in his feelings, all depressed, deep in his feelings about stuff that he doesn't want to talk about, it's like, that's when he all of a sudden wants to go ahead and there's a deer over there. Yeah, that's when he, oh God, what was I saying? Oh yeah, when he doesn't care about, like, you know, relapsing, because he feels more comfortable. He just wants to, you know, drown out his sorrow, block it out, and he can't when he's calm and everything's okay, because he's just thinking about it. And he gets stressed out a lot too here. I mean, I don't blame him for that, you know, getting stressed out about money and stuff, like, but at a certain point you have to learn how to, like, control that. And going back to what I started off saying, about the young kid, Julian. His name's Julian. He's an inventor. He invented a machine it's oh God, I'm so bad at explaining stuff like this. It's a machine that processes energy from plastic, and it turns it into, you know, usable energy through this machine, this like microwave machine that he invented, that helps to conserve the amount of energy that you use to produce it, and so the output of the energy is greater than the input. and that's a new thing. Like the paralysis, something like that. The process basically of turning plastic to fuel is something that's been around for a while, but he's invented this machine to make the process more efficient, essentially. So anyway, so he's somebody that I really admire, because I know, like, he's like a genius. I see him like myself, but better, because he's more like in charge of his mindset, you know, his mental, and he's a man, so like it's easier for men to control their emotions and their mental mindset, like just biologically, because that's how they're made, you know. So he's able to overcome like whatever obstacles, mental and emotional obstacles and challenges he's had to go ahead and manifest the ideas and the projects that he has in mind to help change the world. And he made a video today about basically, and I'll put the link in the video in the comment section if you want to see it, because it's really good. He basically was talking about how your purpose in life is to master yourself, is to master your being. And that's not to say that you don't have missions that you need to accomplish, but that's not your purpose. That's not your primary, you know, concern. It shouldn't be, anyways. It should be yourself, like your sense of being, to make sure that you're fully, you know, connected all in your chakras, and your mind is set and balanced, and you're not, you know, letting the outside world affect you and throw you off track, because you've got yourself, you know, set. And that's something that I haven't done. I haven't had in years, since I was basically a child, because I've been lost, you know, in my emotions and my mental struggles, and I've not been able to get to that point. And I've been also stuck in the idea that my mission is to change the world. So I need to like change myself along the way with it, or work on myself along the way as I'm doing that. But that mentality has clouded my mind as far as like my focus, because I'm focused on you know, the mission, changing this and that, and I'm not prioritizing my sense of self, my being, mastering my emotions, my techniques. That's not my priority, and it should be, you know, more above that. And that's something that it clicked in me. Like I had never had somebody, like, people say it all the time, you know, in like the new age world, like you have to, you know, put yourself first, or put your, you know, focus on you, or get yourself, you know, steady and whatnot. But it's never been explained in that way to me. Like I've never heard it explained like that, to where it's there's no way of accomplishing your missions without doing that first, basically. And it's right, it's true. I mean, like I've tried to do everything at once, you know. I've tried to grow my nonprofit and heal others and fix the world and stuff, and myself at the same time, and it's been fucking hell, dude. Like it's been hell trying to do all that at once. And you know, so I'm backed off more, like from a lot of people. I'm not as you know, involved in the lives of everyone in my life as I used to be. So I'm not as you know, helpful in that sense. It's more just with Marco and Diana, because I mean, that's more than enough for me to deal with for you know, everything, every other person in my life, because it's a lot. It's very draining, and it's going back to the original thing. It's disappointing, you know. It's very disappointing that I allow myself the courtesy to focus on myself so I can further pursue the missions and the objectives that I have. I'm lost and stuck in, going in a circle, in a loop, and I'm not breaking out of it because I'm not mastering myself. That's not my priority, and it needs to be. So I'm trying to, change my mindset to make it fit that more. So if I'm feeling like particularly upset, like right now, I was trying to talk to Marco about getting help and stuff, and he just, it's ugly when somebody's like relapsed and they're just not, not okay to talk. It's not productive to stay talking with them. And this is where I'm gonna try and be helpful to anyone else out there who might have family that are addicts and that are addicted to fentanyl. I know it's upsetting, like when, oh my God, I know it's so upsetting when you feel like this is it, this is the time, like, yeah, that's done, they're done with that, and we're gonna move forward, we're gonna move up from here. And then they come home one day and it's like, yeah, you're not okay. I know how upsetting it is. Like, you want to curse and tell them off and just put them down, and because you're hurt, it hurts you to see somebody that you love just throwing away everything and not caring about, their family and their kids, themselves. And, you just want to knock some sense into them and a part of you kind of wants to make them hurt too, just like how they're hurting you, And that's where it gets really ugly, like when it's just not helpful. Like, if your goal is to help your family member that's suffering from addiction, you should not engage them you can engage them when they're messed up and try and talk to them, but in a challenging way where you're like, putting blame or seeming to put blame or putting, shame on them in that moment. It's not going to help. Like, it's just going to make everything worse. So my advice is to not do that. Just, separate yourself from them, accept the fact that you cannot make their decisions for them, accept the fact that they are going to do whatever they want to do in the end. They're not going to be, worried about how you're feeling and what you're thinking when they're in a state like that. They're gonna just worry about themselves, and if you want to call for help, if you have the resources in your city that, where they can help, do it. But I wouldn't recommend calling the cops unless you have a good police department that actually, helps the community in that sense with mental health issues, because Laredo is not the place for that at all. They're horrible here with mental health issues. Fucking horrible, dude. This place is so messed up, so corrupt and horrible. But anyway, so that's just what I wanted to talk about. Just how to overcome, your disappointment and all your negative emotions in general when you're trying to, stay focused and mastered on yourself. Just disengage, from them. Stay focused. Breathing helps a lot. Like that, going back to when I was trying to mention, of him going to rehab or counseling or therapy or something, and then he just started getting mad. I felt that, like, where I wanted to start getting upset at him and stuff, and it starts making me nauseous and sick. So I go to the restroom to try and, calm down and relax, and I am sick also too right now. I have like a cold or something. So I start coughing and then gagging because I'm sick and all emotional too, and trying to calm down, and I start, like, holding in my breath a little bit so I'm not just continually gagging and throwing up. And then I start breathing like in and out, like deeply, and purposefully making like loud noises, like breathing sounds outward to let go as deep as I can from my gut and letting it all out. And and that's what I did, and it helped me calm down a lot. So look at him, he's looking at me through the window over there. Look at him. He doesn't know I'm in here. I'm not gonna sleep here. Going with my baby. Jerk. He didn't hear that, so it's okay. But yeah, what was I saying? He always throws me off in my videos every time. Yeah, breathing technique. Yeah, that helps a lot. Just breathing, breathing in and out, like when you're feeling to that emotion, to focus on what it is you're upset about, and get your mindset like away from the negative spiral that it can go down when you're feeling those things, and get it back to like, balanced and rational and logical and, sane. And it helped. It worked. Like once I did that, and I was able to walk back out, and like all the anger was gone, or subsided at least for that moment. So yeah, I was able to be around him and not, lash out in the moment, because it's not good. It's not good lashing out and getting upset, and I understand it. I want to do it. I still want to do it. I'm not going to lie. I want to go do it right now, but all it's going to do is get me upset, probably get me in trouble, because I'm the one that gets like more crazy when I get like that. So it's going to get me in trouble, and it's not going to help him at all. So there's just no point. There's no point in that. Anyways, I'm going to go inside so I can lay down with my